Hello lords and ladies, welcome back to Cartoon Hangout. When people first heard a live-action movie based on the insanely popular Nickelodeon cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender was being made, I'm sure the opinions were mixed. Shyamalan had done some amazing movies in the past, but was he the right person for this job? Well, according to a 6% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, no, he was not. I personally couldn't even make my way through 5 minutes of the film when I saw it playing on TV a few years after it come out. I'm typically a guy who says, I'm not gonna hate on something without having seen it. But as soon as Aang's name was butchered, I was done. Recently, IGN published an article where Shyamalan actually defended his movie, saying, you could make it one of two ways. You could make it for that same audience, which is what I did, for 9 and 10-year-olds, or you could do the Transformers version and have Megan Fox. So let me get this straight. As a generally talented person, you only saw 2 ways to make the movie. That really cements the fact for me that he had no understanding of the cartoon. He really should have worked with the 2 creators of Avatar. But this isn't what this video is about. Today we're going to delve into horror because it's come to my attention that M.Night Shyamalan might be poised to make The Last Airbender 2. I know. When interviewed by Metro UK about his latest horror movie, The Visit, Shyamalan said this about making The Last Airbender 2. It takes so long to make those CGI movies. It's hard because it takes 2-3 years, and I don't get to make 2 of my own movies, so there's always a struggle of choosing someone else's material over my own. Right now, I'm going to go do another one of my own first, another thriller. The thriller he is referring to begins filming this November, as confirmed by Deadline's article on it. I'll have links to all of this in the description below if you'd like to read them yourself. So, based on all of this, we can at the very least say that M. Night Shyamalan is still planning to, or still wants to create, a new The Last Airbender film, as hard a pill as that is to swallow for some fans. In my own research on this article, I did stumble onto some fans who refused to believe these articles and referred to them as clickbait, and that any comments made by Shyamalan were just made years ago. However, it's a very common practice to ask directors or creators about upcoming projects while interviewing them on their most recent one. I'm not saying that the studios are lining up to make this movie, because there's no confirmation of that. I will, however, boldly say that M. Night does in fact still want to make a sequel, and that his comments on the subject were recently said. Obviously, no sequel happened after the first movie due to it flopping so badly, but with recent successes such as Wayward Pines and The Visit, he might have earned himself another shot at making an Avatar: The Last Airbender film. But what do I think? While I personally won't watch a potential sequel unless it looks 1,000 times better than the first, I'm not actively planning on taking part in any petitions or campaign to prevent this movie from being made. Just because I dislike something doesn't mean I have the gall to say it shouldn't exist. Let it exist. Let it possibly be complete crap. Since I now do Cartoon Hangout, I might force myself to venture to see this movie, if made, just so I can give it an honest shot and a review here on this channel. If this movie gets made, I do have some changes in mind that would help appease fans. First off, you logically have to recast everyone. A lot of the main actors have aged in the past 5 years, plus this movie isn't likely to be made anytime soon, which means they'll age even more. Given that, Shyamalan should recast the characters with people who actually fit the characters' races. Second, at least pronounce the movie's protagonist correctly. You know, it's Aang, not Ong. Watching a few minutes of episode 1 of the original series could have told you that. And thirdly, and most importantly, do not treat this movie like a kid's movie. The reason why fans love the show was it wasn't just some stupid kid's show. It had mature themes woven throughout it. Do that justice. And finally, work with the show's creators. They can help you make this movie something worthy of the title, The Last Airbender. That's it for me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for another Cartoon Hangout video.